What's up, dudes, dudettes? It's time to kick off another weekend with you, and we have a good one here. Someone that knows John Z very closely, but also very successful. Me and Dave are going to have a lot of fun with this. Watch John Z sit on his fingers and toes as we meet Adam. Oh my gosh, Adam Hefner, of Hero Machine Company. And he's also going to be our guest on Sunday. This dude is an interesting one. He's going to fit in great with us. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Welcome to the Dude Network, where we chill and unwind. Food, sports, entertainment, the best of its kind. Grab your buddies, have a seat, let's have a good time. 4 nights a week, we'll make sure you feel just fine. Join us as we dive into the coolest trends. Dude Network, where the fun never ends. Dude Network, where the fun never ends. Hanging out with the dudes and dudettes. Talking about the things we love, no regrets. Tune in, relax, and let the good vibe flow. The Dude Network, the place to go.
Yo!
What's up, everybody?
We are here.
Happy Friday.
Our chief voice of reason, Damon Kite down below, and John Z, Brandon John Z over here to my right on screen, COO.
We get whole
What was with
government.
the Brandon right there?
Why we get the whole government names?
Yeah, what was with that? What was that shot?
It's not even technically your government name.
No, wait. What?
There's an extra letter in there that would take you out. Well, I'm not going to say it now if it's a big deal. I don't want to. It's going to leave it as it was.
I'm lost now.
Yeah, I'm totally lost.
We've already said too much. I don't want to make a bad situation worse, so I'm just going to abort.
All right.
All right. Sorry for the crappy intros, guys. My apologies. Let's get into the show. How are we living? I mean,
Another day, another 50 cent, man.
Right.
yeah. The week's been good. I feel like I could have been more productive, but I still feel it's been very productive. And I have a feeling tomorrow morning I'm hitting my first hole in one. So, we're gonna just put that out there, manifest it.
There we go.
This is not gonna happen, but okay.
Speaking of,
That's why I'm going to start saying it until one day it might happen.
Oh, I got you.
I watched it. Someone did it last Friday at the outing I was at. So
crazy.
the one time somebody hits a hole in one at an outing and the dude won $20, I was like, man, that's tough, bro.
$20 for a hole in one.
A hole in one at an outing, and normally they have sponsors. The sponsor a cruise or a trip or whatever, but. $20.
Hey, $20 is $20, as they say.
I was gonna say,
it's free money. It's free money. But there's actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you hit a hole in one, you're supposed to buy everybody around. So they're like,
okay, why? You're the one who did the magic.
See, he done manifested himself.
Oh boy,
he done manifested himself into a delay.
Well, we're gonna get into this show then here.
Yeah.
We're talking.
He's awake.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
he's
that's
awake.
fun. I'm glad we have internet issues tonight for no reason.
Well, we're getting into this. We're getting right in. We're gonna bring Adam in here.
Yeah, you guys
Adam has built quite a thing here. It's pretty cool how this all started, and I've known him for a lot of years. And to see where he's at, I will admit this live. My wife and I watched the video on his website, and it was kind of emotional. It was like, holy cow, man! He's just doing so well. But there's no way I could even explain it. So we're just gonna get him in here. Without further ado, Hero Machine Company. Man, myth, legend, Adam.
What's up, guys? Hell of an intro. Brandon, I'm really glad you grew the beard back because you kind of look like a guy that drove a van with no windows there for a second in your life. You definitely need, a little chin scrabble does you favors.
What? What's funny is, or what's messed up is, they were like, "Yeah, you got to shave your beard for work." And when I worked at the plant, so I shaved it. I was like, "Well, this is, it's a good job. I'm not going to worry about it. Whatever. I'll look like a dork." And like 3 weeks into it, my buddy who got me the job was like, "Why'd you shave?" I was like, "What do you mean? It's mandatory." And he's like,
"Fooled you."
Immediately grew it back. I'm like, "You son of a!" And I shaved it, or did I? Yeah, I shaved it again when we got our new boss because I didn't want to be that to be an issue. But I never had to wear a respirator. Like hardly. I don't go in the boiler. There's no electrical stuff in there, so.
Yeah, that's a smart move not to get singled out right off the bat when somebody's trying to make a name for themselves, at a new place. Like, a little politicking.
Yeah, not your machine company. It's not how you run business, is it, Adam?
I don't know. The bigger we get, the more politics we get, and that's just part of it. It's like you have to, you make a rule, and then you have to apply it equally to everybody the same way in every single situation, no matter what. And they just get out of hand sometimes. Like we had a guy that came to work for us, and it was Cinco de Mayo, and he decided to drink a fifth of tequila on the job. And he started passing it around to people. And so we have had, my insurance company's going to hate me, but we've had Christmas parties or times where we have a barbecue and, I'll buy beers or something and we're drinking, but nobody goes back to work. So there has been some days here in the shop where we have stopped work, clocked out, drank a few beers, and then you go home. But he misconstrued that to well, you guys drink at work all the time and it's never a big deal at lunchtime. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's a lunch where we stopped working at lunch. And then he tries to say well, you let people smoke in here because for a time we used to let guys smoke in the shop. We're a welding shop. There's fucking smoke everywhere anyways. And he's like, I don't understand the difference. And I'm like, have you ever gotten a DUI for smoking too many cigarettes? And he's like, no, I've only had 2 DUIs. I'm like, yeah, that's the problem, man. He's like, well, this has never been a problem at any other job. And then he told me his supervisor, Steven, told him that he could drink on the job. And Steven's on his vacation. And I do not call guys on their vacation. Do not. But this one, I was like, I'm sorry, Steven. I got to call it because this dude just threw you under the fucking bus. Yeah. So I call Steven, and Steven's like, no, I didn't tell him he could drink at lunch or anything else. I'm like, he's like, Adam doesn't care whatever you do on your own time. But if you're clocked in, he kind of owns your ass right now. That's the deal. So it's just one of those things where just something gets, you try to be cool and then it gets spun way, way off to left field, and the dude drinks a whole fifth of tequila before lunch.
That's insanity, dude.
That's getting it right there, though.
Oh,
what you should have done was cut the AC off in the shop and just let them sweat it all out.
You didn't have an AC, bud.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I didn't know. I didn't know how fancy we was here.
No, I mean it's hot. You're wearing leathers. You're next to
for sure.
welder all day. We heat the shop, but it's not worth the money to air condition it.
Try to cool it. I got you.
Yeah, so we just keep the air moving every 3.5 minutes. We're like a casino. The air gets changed out because we're moving so many cubes.
For sure.
Man, that's crazy.
So how did it all start, man? Tell the story.
And I'm curious, on some things. Good.
All right. Well, let's see here. I started building a rock crawler, and that's how I got into welding because my dad was really into it, and he had unlimited budget, and I had very little budget. So he's going to 4 Wheel Parts and getting on the cover of 4 Wheel Parts magazine because he's buying so much shit for his Jeep. And I'm trying to keep up with him on the trails. So I taught myself how to fabricate on a rock crawler. And so our family business wound down, and I actually, Johnsie's sister was pregnant with our first kid. So she's 6 months pregnant, and I lose my job, the company I was working at, and my insurance all in one fell swoop. And I'm, kind of bitching to my neighbor out in the front yard one night after work. And he's like, well, hell, if all you need is insurance, why don't you come to work with me? The Iron Workers Union are hiring like crazy right now, building this prison out in Stockton. And I was kind of looking for like a low key job because I had this kind of white collar office job that was really high pressure and really low satisfaction because there's no like visible progress of anything you do. You know, you're like, oh, I got my unread emails down to 19 today. I'm a badass, you know, and it just like, it doesn't feel great. Any of that work to me, you know? So I thought, you know, I'll just take a break from this office type job and I'll just go ironwork for a little bit and just get the insurance, have my baby, and then I'll figure out kind of the next thing, you know? So I go to work for this ironworker contractor and I bring a resume. And if you guys know ironwork, you don't need a resume. Pretty much you need a DUI, a divorce, or a felony, and you're in. Like, those are the qualifiers. So the superintendent, like, dude, he looks at my resume. He doesn't even read it, and he just sets it down on the table and looks at me, and he goes, "What are you doing here?" And then him and 3 other superintendents came into his office, and they all tried to talk me out of joining the Ironworkers Union for like 20 minutes. Dang. And I was like, okay, I'm like, I don't know, dude. I just need insurance. Like, I can work. Like, I've been raised working. I've been working since I was 6 years old. Like work doesn't scare me. So they made me the quality control manager for this job that had 350 iron workers. And so I'm an apprentice they have a red letter A sticker they put on the front and back of your hard hat for your first 6 months of your apprenticeship, just so like everybody knows, like, watch out for that kid. He's going to kill you or he's going to kill himself. So don't give him any sharp objects, basically. And the rule is you can't take that A off until either you finish your first period or one of the journeymen you work for tells you can take it off. So I like get straight on this job. I'm 23 years old and I've got a baby face. I mean, I got the wrinkles now, but dude, 23, I look like I was like 14. Ask me right over there. Like, yeah, John Z knows. So I've got a buggy, an iPad, a company phone, a company truck, and I'm like driving around this job site, like telling people how to read the blueprints with a big red letter A on the front of my hard hat. And, you know, that was like really tough, but it was the easiest way to get in the Ironworkers Union. So like my first year of ironworking was like this really cush office job version of ironworking. Then after that, there was no work, and I went straight to the rod patch doing rebar. So we were building the subway system in San Francisco and a lot of freeways, overpasses, and the dam and spillway out in Folsom, California. And rebar is the toughest physical work that's still legal in the United States right now. Like, it's just physically really demanding. So you're expected to pack, place, and tie 10,000 pounds a day per guy. And if you're on a crew of 4 and you're the apprentice like I was, that means you're packing and placing 20,000 pounds a day. And the older guys are tying it. You know, they're like, all right, the truck showed up, kid. Get over there, get it off, get it down here, get it in place. Right. So that was like a major rude awakening. They call it getting thrown in the blender when you don't have a foreman. They just send you on the board, and just any foreman that needs an extra hand will pick you up. But you're not on their crew. There's no loyalty to you. And they just work you into the dirt. That's kind of like the goal. So I went in the blender for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I was doing bridge decks, which are really tough, and working for 3 different foremen. On Wednesday, I get with this crew that drove from Fresno all the way to San Francisco, like 4.5, 5 hours that morning. And they wanted to get 12 hours of work done in 6 hours. Because if you make your weight, you'll get paid for your time. Yeah. So they worked me into the ground, man. And so the next morning I woke up and I'm on my commute, and like my whole body starts cramping up, you know, like my hands like get stuck to the steering wheel. My arms start my wrists start curling in. Like I'm just cramping really, really bad. So I pull off the freeway and I pulled into this cul-de-sac in like some subdivision. And I just remember crawling out on the asphalt at like 4 a.m. And the asphalt's still hot. If you've ever been in the Central Valley in California, it's like still the asphalt's 90 degrees. So I'm just like slowly like stretching myself out on the asphalt just to like get to a point where I can drive again. And I just turned around and went back home. Like I couldn't make it. So superintendent calls me like 9:30 that morning. reads me the riot act. What the hell are you doing? You no-showed on my job. Somebody was relying on you. Whoop-de-whoop. So I tell him the story, and he starts laughing. And he's like, all right, kid, I'll give you one more shot, but just because you're funny. And then the next day I got for another foreman, and he picked me up, and I was on his crew, and I didn't have this, terrible shit work. So that was like, I started out at the top of the pile of the ironwork, and then the second year I was at the bottom of the bottom. And, had to work my way back up. So in that time, I started I was doing side work. I was still like doing little rock crawler stuff, lifts in the garage, fixing dump trailers, just picking up a lot of side work for cash, which, is always pretty sweet because no taxes, and started building up a little shop on the side. And John G's sister, Stephanie, who was my wife at the time, she's like, why don't you make some signs, and I'm like, what do you mean? What kind of, like, family, eat, pray, love, live, laugh, love? Like, what kind of cheesy shit do you think, I can make that you can't already buy at Hobby Lobby or Walmart, And she's like, well, it's a good idea. Just set up the plasma torch and give me some scrap metal, and I'll make some for you to take to your next show. So I was like, whatever, here's the plasma torch, gave her some soapstone, and she starts cutting out eat, family, love, and she tacked together these really haggard looking signs. And so I went to my first show with the signs, and I'd like damaged this dining room table that I made. It was like a $3,000 table. I damaged it in the truck. The wood shrunk out of another tabletop, so I didn't, kiln dry the wood, so it shrunk out of the frame. Like, it was like catastrophic. It was like all the furniture, cool stuff that I was building was falling apart. And I sold like $350 worth of these stupid signs that same day at that show. And it was like, okay, like, light bulb, maybe there's something to this, So I had a little Etsy shop, and I put the signs up on my Etsy shop. And I was building another prison. This is a few years later now. And I'm sitting there welding the man cage, like the outdoor rec area for like the shoe in prison. And I'm like building an animal cage for a human. It was like really surreal to build these things. And I get this little notification. It goes cha-ching, because I kept my hard hat or my phone up in my hard hat. And I'm like, cha-ching, I've never heard that. What is that? So I pull it out, and my Etsy shop got a sale, and it was one of those stupid signs. So like I had just like broken the matrix. Like, I was like, wait a sec, I'm out here on a ladder welding, making union wages and bennies, and I just sold a $39 sign on the website while I wasn't even working. Like, that was just like this huge leap forward for my brain, where I was like, oh my God, dude, there's something here to these signs. So then I started studying really hard on how to make the signs, and really need a CNC plasma table. That's the key to the castle for sign work in a metal shop. You can pretty much, make whatever you want. So, of course it was out of my price range. I didn't have the budget to build one. So I decided I was going to, buy one. I decided I was going to build one, because I worked at a shop for a while where the guy built his own little 4x4 plasma table. So that's where like I knew it was possible, but I'd never done it before. So we started saving our money, and that pushed us to move from California to Tennessee. So we sold our house in California. I made like 60 grand on that house, and then we put half of it for a down payment on a house in Tennessee, and then I kept that other half as like a savings to start building up the business. So we moved to Tennessee. I ironworked for 2 more years. I built, a couple towers, like 20-story towers, General Mills, the, what is that plant? Where they make like the cinnamon streusel and stuff. So you're like working on the roof, just like taking hits on exhaust all day. Bro. Oh, dude, you're so hungry. It's like watching the Food Network while you're baked at the same time. It was evil. And then I got to work on the Corvette plant. So I did some cool jobs up here, but the whole time I'm just like saving my money and doing side work. And then I had this shop in my backyard that just like needed a bunch of work. Like, I did the electrical, I did drywall, I insulated it, put a heater in there, air conditioner. got everything set up in the shop. And then eventually I got a layoff from the Corvette plant. And so my plan was, at this point, I bought all the pieces to build the plasma table, and the steel was sitting on the floor, and I had a chop saw and just an empty open shop. There wasn't a damn thing in there, like not even a welding table at this point. So I got my layoff and I started building this plasma table, and I documented all of it on YouTube because I felt like I got a ton of like free information from people online, like out of forums and other people's YouTube videos. And like open source is all about like, you're supposed to give back. Like if you use some code, you're supposed to like, you know, fix something and update the code back. And I'm not a coder. So I'm like, how do I contribute to all these CNC people and give back to this open source thing when I can't code and I don't even understand how these things work yet because I'm building my first one. You know, I'm like, how do I contribute to this? So I started making YouTube videos of how to build a plasma table to try and like leave some breadcrumbs along the way. And that led me to just meet a bunch of like really talented people that have more skills than I do in a lot of ways through the internet. And that first plasma table made it where I never had to go back to work. So I thought it was going to take me like a week to build, and it took a month to build. And then it probably took me like 2 or 3 more months to get the kinks worked out and actually like be able to rely on the thing. And I just started going hard on building the website and Etsy, and then, you know, making all the stuff, selling it. And then every weekend I would pick up some sort of side job because the website wasn't really taken off yet, but I could still fix trailers. You know, I was making fixture tables for local factories. You know, any bit of work I could pick up, I was picking up at the time, just to keep the lights on. So, you know, at that point, that's when I hired my best friend, hired Johnsy's sister for free. We turned our bedroom into the paint booth.
Marriage, man.
Yeah, I mean, she was on the struggle bus too. Her first time packaging, I think I had like three packages to need to go out. I'm like, here's cardboard, here's tape, here's the signs. Just get these in a box and drive them to UPS. I think it took her 5.5 hours to package 3 signs. Oh, dude, and she's like crying. She's screaming at me every time I come in the house. Johnsy knows. You know, she's losing it. And I'm like coming in there every time, like, why isn't this done? You know, I'm being a dick too. Like, I'm like, because I've got my own dragon to slay out in the garage with shit going on. So, yeah, we struggled through it. And the kids got a bunch of metal splinters in their feet because there was just like metal all over the house. The office was our shipping room. Our bedroom was the paint booth. The dining room was the office. Like, the garage was full. Pretty much the girls had their bedroom and the living room, and the rest of the house was the new business. So
wow,
that was like, it was the cool time. I thought I was going to like stay, like the goal was just to work from the house.
okay,
Like, I'm going to get the girls in high school. I want to be around, you know, because I've been on the road traveling as an iron worker so much. I felt like I was missing, you know, out on a lot of their time. And I really think kids spell love TIME.
Right.
Like, you know, it's not money. It's not what you're doing. It's not where you are. They just want to be with dad, you know?
Yeah.
preach.
So that was the whole goal, was to just spend time with my kids. So like one summer every summer I built a slip and slide outside the shop door. And so all the neighborhood kids would come and they would just zip by the door on the slip and slide. And that's just like one of my core memories of working from the house that was really, really golden. But, you know, it got to the point where we needed a shop space. So I found this rundown, crappy old building in downtown Springfield that had really cheap rent, and started, you know, fixing that place up and making it workable for us. And, you know, 5 years in, that's where we bought our first laser. And that's really the start of Hero Machine Co. So, you know, that's my welding street cred. You know, like I haven't done it all, but I've definitely done a lot of welding, a lot of fabrication myself physically, like not phoning it in, not drawing it up and letting somebody else do it. That's how I got started, was really by just doing the damn thing. So I was in a meeting with, I have a really good accountant, and he's also like my business advisor. The dude owns like 8 different businesses himself. He's into real estate, really sharp guy. And so we do our year-end meeting, and then he's like, okay, Adam, what's going on? What are your goals? And I'm like, well, in the next couple years, I need to buy a laser. That's the next thing for me. And so he looks at the books, and, he asks me how much they are, and I give him the price range, and he goes, I don't know, Adam, I think you need a laser right now. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I don't have the cash for a laser. And he's like, that's not a problem. He's like, I'm on the board of directors for this bank across the street. He's like, let me call Susan. So he picks up his phone, calls Susan. He said, oh, had a little conversation with her. And then he's like, all right, come on, let's go walk across the street and meet her. She's free. So dude walks me right into the bank with the president of the bank there and the loan officer. And he says, this is Adam. He's a mover and shaker here. He's doing things. He's the real deal. You want to give him money. And then he said, Adam, I'll leave you to it. And he walks out the door. So there was hardly even a loan application. I mean, they got my name and my serial number, and they were like, all right, how much money you need? So that led to me searching around, shopping really furiously for a laser. And I got onto eBay and I emailed this guy, and I was, he had it seemed like a nice machine, price I could afford. Everything's looking good. And the guy's from Kentucky. So I'm thinking he's local, and he picks up the phone and tells me that he's manufacturing lasers over in China and he can get me whatever I want. And so I'm curious, right? But also really, really cautious of this dude all of a sudden. But growing up with my family's business, my dad used to take me overseas. We had some trademarks over in South Korea. And then we had to do a military food audit in Japan and Guam. And so he'd fly me over there every year with him. And so I was already used to flying over to Asia. It didn't seem that exotic to me to go over there. I wasn't nervous about reading the signs or getting around. And so I just told this guy, Chris, I said, all right, man, I'll meet you in China. When do you want to meet me there? And so I think in 2 or 3 weeks, me and Steph flew to China for the first time. And we walk into this factory, and we're seeing lasers and plasma tables and iron workers and press brakes and screw compressors, welders, all this equipment being made for all these U.S. domestic manufacturers. And none of them have the stickers on them yet. And I'm not going to name names. That's not my strategy. It's calling else out. But I have seen a lot of companies that say they're made in America, designed in America. They've got these videos showing their factory floor in, North Carolina or Wisconsin and Vegas. And they're trying to drive home this whole, American manufacturing message, which, I'm all about. I'm in manufacturing. I hire Americans. That's what I do is I'm creating jobs here. But it's just really dishonest the way they're doing it. So, I ordered my first laser, and it shows up. This was January of 2020 when the laser dropped. So we all know what happened, February, March of 2020, the world shut down, and China got it first. So you weren't allowed to fly from China. There was travel restrictions, I think, starting the November the year before. So my whole thing back then was to start selling lasers and have them manufactured over there. But they were supposed to be able to fly engineers out to me and communicate with me and send me parts, but they couldn't. Nobody could fly out here. They were locked down in their apartments. My translator, Alex, his apartment complex, they welded the gate shut. So yeah, for 6 weeks, they welded the gate shut to his whole apartment complex. Every bit of food had to be Grubhub delivered to their door. And the guy started playing guitar. He's of course he's Asian, so he's really good at musical instruments, but the dude shreds on the guitar now, but it's all because he got locked in his house during COVID. So this laser shows up, and they have to completely disassemble him to get him in the shipping containers. So I don't even have a laser at this point. I have a pile of parts that equals a laser at some point in time. And I'm just left to my own devices to put this thing together. So it was flashbacks to the plasma table days of building that first plasma table, no idea what I was doing, just like plugging stuff in, like, you know, that fits that hole. All right. You know, that fits that hole. That looks about okay. And then putting power to it and blowing stuff up and breaking things. And, you know, so I had to figure out everything about this laser all of a sudden. And at the time I was really pissed. I mean, I'm in like a ton of money. I'm already paying big fat laser payments on the loan, and I still don't have a laser. It's taking up all this. Right. We moved the plasma table out of the shop entirely to make space for the laser. So now I got the plasma running in the gravel lot behind my shop for like 3 months. And it was an absolute nightmare. And I've heard this nightmare story over and over from people that buy equipment from China, where like they bought it and then there's just no support. There's no service. There's no parts. There's no information. You're just left to your own devices. And people get pissed. I mean, like, that's a big reason why China has a bad rap, is because they just don't support their stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that.
So
I've heard that same thing.
Yeah. So I scrapped the whole Hero Machine Co. plan 5 years ago. And then, what was this? About 2 years ago, I found a new manufacturer in the Philippines and started to talk to them and design my own equipment. And we set up manufacturing over there. And so now we have manufacturing going on in the Philippines, which is a strategic ally to the United States military for their, you know, geographic location, basically. And there's better tariff rates out of the Philippines, but they don't have as much infrastructure as China has. So now we have this hybrid approach where we're getting the resonators, the software, and the frames out of China, because those are the three hardest things to make. And China is good at making shit. Like, there's really no two ways about it. I mean, your iPhone comes from China, your Milwaukee drills come from China, your electric welders. Like, there's a lot of good shit out of there, but you've really got to pick and choose, and you've got to hammer down on quality, because they build stuff for the whole world. Like, America is the premium customer in China. Like, we're the top dog. We have the most money and we can buy the nicest stuff. But they're selling to Pakistan, India, like they're selling Turkey, Ukraine, they're selling everywhere. So most of the world just wants cheap. Like, they don't care. They're just like, give me the cheapest thing, because their budgets are a lot more constrained. They have less customers. They can't get as much margin for their stuff. Like, there's a lot going into that. So when I go over there, the whole conversation is like, they're like, are you sure your customers want the best resonator? Are you sure your customers want the best laser lens system? Are they going to be able to afford this software? This is the best software that we make. And I'm just like, yes, 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 because it's still cheaper. So like, laser over here will cost you anywhere from $600,000 to $1 million. We get, they're not made in the US, by the way, just to begin with. Then we can do the same laser for $130,000. So it's still a huge commitment, but if you're cutting with one of these machines, they absolutely pay for themselves. Like, even $500,000 machine is paying for itself. So we can do the same thing they're doing at a fifth or a sixth of the price. It's kind of a no-brainer, as long as we can hit the quality. So that's the new business. Is I am chasing around every single order I get. I travel over to the factory and I inspect the machine and absolutely drill on them every single issue that I can find. So as they're disassembling the machine, we go over there and we test it while it's running, and then they have to pull it apart to ship it. So as it's getting pulled apart, I'm checking every single thing on that. You know, is there Loctite on this? Has this been torqued? Does this, you know, cable here have protection from rubbing against it? Like, you know, is everything operational, so that when the stuff gets here, then we don't have any issues when we put it back together. And then we stock all the parts for the repairs, and we're the phone call that the customer makes when they have a problem. So they don't have to deal with getting ghosted by, you know, someone overseas. They can literally come to my address. You know what I mean? I'm here in Springfield, Tennessee. Like, I'm not that far away, and we will come and help you. So that's the whole deal with Hero Machine Co. Is now I'm designing the equipment. I don't own the manufacturing over in the Philippines, but I am a controlling customer when I go over there and very demanding and won't let them ship garbage to us.
Yeah.
Dude approved. No garbage.
Dude, it's so wild, man. I remember when you first started messing around in your garage.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we met each other. I was still in junior college, and we were just hanging out at your house. Like, that's how I met your sisters. We both had like two class break, and your house was like right around the corner from school. Right. So we just like both go there and hang out, and that's how we got to know each other. Was we were in JC, and none of us had a garage. Like we were all splitting rooms or sharing a house, or like that was
it's the truth, but it's like it's the American way, man. Work your ass off. Everybody in the family's got to sacrifice to make it happen. I mean, obviously, we're in a completely different world from your business and what Dude Network and how the whole social media thing works. But like case in point, John, you just moved to Ohio from California and brought his wife. Like that's like is the sacrifices that are made along the way, though, by not just you, like everybody involved. My wife, she's just giving me up, like right now, like up there putting the kids to bed while I'm down here recording podcasts and stuff. So but it's nice to hear like what you happened to you. To me, kind of shows why you do it. It's worth it. You go for it. If you put in the time and the effort and have the right game plan, you can live a pretty solid life where you can be involved with your kids all the time and raise them yourself, and not just come home and they're ready for bed as you just get home from work, and then you get up or leave for work before they even get up in the morning. Like that sucks. So good. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I don't think my story is that unique. I think a lot of people are fighting the same fight, and they're just in a different spot on the journey. But like you have, a podcasting business. I have a metal business, but they're both still businesses. Right. And most businesses are solving the same problems as everybody else. It's just the product that comes out the other end is different, True.
Yeah. I mean, it's all process. It's just, some of it's different. There is a process. It's just sometimes it's way different, but yeah, dude, it's awesome. Damon, what you got?
Oh, I was actually, if anybody's ever wondering all these machines he was talking about, I just randomly pulled up one here off the website. That way you can see exactly the machines he was talking about. That's just one of the 20, I guess, that's on the website, if not more.
That looks fancy. That touch screen up there is rather large, so that automatically just tells me it's probably awesome because that's how simple I am.
Huge touch screen. Yeah, you can touch all over that screen. It'll touch you back.
What's that machine run you? Is that one of the 130,000 ones?
That's I think it's a 40K machine. That's like a mini laser for guys that either like universities or guys that are building knives, because sheets for knives are usually buying tool stock, which doesn't come in like a full 4x8 or 5x10 sheet. So they're buying these like 3-foot long sticks that are 6 to 12 inches wide, and they generally don't have huge shops to begin with. So that's what the Draco series of tables is designed for, is to be like a mini laser. But same power, same speed, same motors. So there's not a lot of savings in the smaller machines. Really, it's like the servos that basically communicate with the motors and let them know where they are really expensive. The motors that are driving that gantry around are expensive. The resonator, the software, and you still need all that regardless of how big the table is. So from there, you're basically just buying more steel for a bigger frame. There's more welding hours in it. And, so there's just a lot of fixed costs with the lasers. But believe it or not, that is a super cheap laser in the laser world, because you can charge $200 to $300 an hour for those things, and they cost you about $60 to $80 an hour to run. So you can be clocking over $100 an hour in profit on a laser all day long, every day.
Nice.
So that's the power. And I mean, definitely get more than that, but that's like a really solid, honest number. And I just made a YouTube video actually explaining the equipment rate and just posted it up. So if anyone wants to go check out the Hero Machine Co. YouTube channel, much appreciated, because trying to get that thing off the ground right now.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of, we'll let you do that now. Roll out the red carpet. Tell everybody where they can find everything.
Oh, excellent. All right. Well, we are Hero Machine Company, Hero Machine Co. everywhere, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I even have a Facebook, but I don't do much on there. And really trying to build the YouTube the most right now. So if you guys are into the YouTube, give me a subscribe. That is the most powerful way to communicate with people.
And it's free. It costs you nothing.
Dude, yeah, I've spent so much money in ad dollars and crap. Like, it's not even worth it. Like, YouTube and social media are really the way to go to reach a lot of people that are targeted. Like, it's not like you're just like,
oh,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Same time.
Awesome. Yeah. So that 220 an hour video is the one I just posted today. So show that one some love.
You hear that, people?
Yeah. After the Dude Network or before the Dude Network, then come over to the Dude Network. Go Hero Machine first, then come on over. Yeah.
I don't care either way, man. I mean, this is how they're gonna find me is through you guys. You guys have the platform here, because podcasting just takes a lot of time. I mean, like, I've had people that have tried to start podcasts with me, and I've like looked into it, and I'm just like, dude, that's a whole other like full-time job. That's like that's not like a hobby side. Like, I don't know how you guys are all doing it as a side thing, because I guess it's because you're a team, and I imagine you guys all help each other. But if you're solo mission, making a podcast and producing it and editing everything and cross promoting it and getting all the shorts pulled out and tagged and captioned, like, bro, hours.
It is a lot of work.
It's definitely not for the podcast. It's like low overhead as far as like monetary wise, but the amount of sweat equity you got to put into a podcast to make it into something is
more like we turn
unexplainable.
Yeah, we turn around and we're like, dude, we have been doing all of this for 3 years. Holy freaking crap! Like,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
So it's
and
different.
we're still, dude. We're like exactly the story of Hero Machine. Like, oh man, that was really easy doing it like that. Probably should have been doing that the whole time. We're like, hey, why don't we use this to help us do this better?
Oh, that button does that.
Yeah, but here we are blundering along. So,
but that's the only way you get good at it, is by doing it. Like, what do they say? It takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Like, I did the math. If you worked 7/12s for 3 years, then that's 10,000 hours. So that was my work pace when I started the first business. Was I worked 7/12s for 3 years, and so that I could become an expert at plasma cutting and metal fabrication and marketing and sales. And, so that was the commitment. Was really the first 3 years are the hardest. And then you figure enough stuff out and you meet enough people that things can kind of start snowballing a little bit. And it just doesn't take quite as much effort to get those wins, if that makes sense. Like, it's like you're pushing the ball up the hill, and slowly the hill just starts getting a little less steep,
Then you like stop and you're like, well, I can't just let it roll back down the hill.
No, you cannot stop.
We don't come this far.
Yeah, shit. Like, dig deeper, boys. Lift with your back.
Yeah. Your back, not your legs.
Yeah, use the back. Yeah, chiropractor gave me that advice once.
It's science. It's not a big deal.
Well, dude, incredible.
Hey, just getting started. Now we got to know this side of Adam. And then Sunday, he's going to lead the way with us for another foodie show to open up a different side of Adam. So if you want to know what that side is, you're going to have to tune in Sunday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Cali time, everywhere in between. But for right now, we're going to get out of here, and we'll see you tomorrow night on Dudes After Dark, 9 o'clock Eastern as well. We'll see you over there. Adam, thanks so much, man. But again, looking forward to the second half of this.
Definitely. Thank you, guys. Can't wait for the next show.